So in this little episode, I'm going to try and verify that my distributor rotor is pointing at the number one cylinder at top dead center. And I've looked at a website to reestablish the firing order and to make sure that I'm truly on number one cylinder top dead center, and make sure that the pulley is in time, and then also verify the distributor is in time. And the only way to truly verify that is to pop the valve covers off, apparently, and then rotate the motor around until you believe that you're on number one cylinder top dead center, and then check all three of these things plus the number three cylinder rockers should be crossing over, and the number one cylinder rockers should be loose. And I'll confirm what I'm saying here in just a moment as I tear into this a little bit further. So why don't we get started on seeing where the rotor is pointing to, and then rotate the motor around until we get to what we think is number one cylinder, and then pop the covers off, the valve covers, and then see if this all makes sense. So I think first things first, let's pop the distributor cap off. Pretty simple. Take that off. We can pull these wires too, make things a little more comfortable. And right now, it would appear as if the rotor, see, I've got it marked here as 1 and 4, but we're pointing at, see, 1, 4, 3, 2, so we're pointing somewhere in between 3 and 2. So let's just get some power on. We'll keep ignition and fuel off. Since those are separate, I can just push this button over here and spin the motor around. So we just went past 1, but that's okay. So now I can get a wrench on that pulley bolt and back things up or move things forward. And let me do that real quick. So this happens to be a 30 millimeter socket on a breaker bar, and I can now move the rotor backwards and forwards, and we seem to be kind of centered on this number that I've written on there years ago. So let's pop the valve cover off and see if that's something easy to do, or if it's going to take some grit. I think I'm going to go down with this. I'm not sure how to get my hand in there. That's not going to be the easiest thing. So let's see if I can get a little tool. Maybe a little pry bar. Let's see if I can't get this thing to move a little bit. Yeah, there we go. There we go, there's one. And let's see what it's going to take to break that loose. Spark plug wire, I can get out of the way. There we go. That wasn't all that bad. And oh, there's a bunch of oil in there. Oh, probably because I just pumped it up. Well, that's not good at all now, is it? No. Get an oil pan under there. I would have thought that had so much oil in it. That kind of shows my lack of experience here. But for what we need it to do, it's okay. So I am not an engine expert. I built the chassis, wired it, plumbed it. I did not build the motor. DRD Racing Heads out of California built the motor. And Lester Chatley out of Florida built the transmission. And they know each other and have built projects together. So I trusted that their setup would be good. And I have not got into engine maintenance or building yet. So we're learning. So let me check the website that I mentioned earlier on checking for verification on these rockers, and make sure, because the number 1 cylinder rockers are tight and even. So let me get back to you in just a moment and confirm what I'm supposed to see here. Okay, so I did check the website, and they said that if this is pointing to 1, or we believe it is, I believe it is, those rockers should be tight and even, and then the number 3 cylinder over here should be crossing over. So I would imagine they're going to be offset. And let's see if we can't get this. See if we can't get this valve cover off. And yeah, and there we go. That wasn't too bad. And see if we can't break the seal on this little thing, like we did the other one. There we go. And maybe if that oil drained over there, there won't be much to drain on this side. So the number 3 cylinder is supposed to be crossing over, and it's hard to see if that's the case. So let's get some light in on this. See if we can't figure out what they're talking about in this article. Number 3. So number 4 looks even, like the other one was. Number 3. There's number 3. We'll move this crank. That looks even. So this is interesting. I would have thought that some of these rockers would be loose, and this one is. On the number 2, they're loose. Number 1, they're tight. Nope. Number 1 is loose. Yeah, they're not tight. You can rock them. There's gaps in them. So what does that mean? I don't know what that means. Okay, so that's moving Interesting. So when I rotate this pulley back and forth, these valves are moving back and forth. And I come back over to this side here and move. They're not moving back and forth. Nope, they're stable. So I believe that this is the number one. I believe that the distributor is installed correctly and this rotor is pointing to the correct cylinder. And as far as the wiring goes, this wire here is number 2, so we'll have to label that, I would imagine. Number 2, number 1, yeah, I think that's how it was. So, it's in time, and this is top dead center, so I believe everything is in good working order and verified. So, let me put the valve covers back on and mop things up, and we'll work on improving the tune-up when it's warmer outside. Okay, not bad.